So let's get into a really kind of wild idea. It's this ancient teaching that says the flow of wealth, of abundance, well, it actually starts the second you stop chasing after it. I know, it sounds totally backwards, right? But just stick with me here.
I mean, have you ever had that feeling? Like you're grasping at water. You're trying so hard to get something. Maybe it's a financial goal, and it feels like the harder you squeeze, the faster it just slips away. It's that super frustrating feeling, like you're trying to hold water in your hands and it just runs right through your fingers. We've all been there. And that right there, that's the heart of the problem we're talking about. The real insight here is that when you desperately go after something, you actually create this resistance. It's a total paradox, right? The very intensity of your effort is what seems to push what you want further and further away.
So, okay, this phenomenon actually has a name. In these ancient teachings, they call it the law of reversed effort. And yeah, it's a principle that basically takes everything we think we know about hard work and achievement and just flips it completely upside down.
Now, what's really interesting is that this law isn't saying don't make any effort. Not at all. It's about the kind of effort. It's against that straining, that desperate intensity, the stuff that creates all this energetic friction. Think about it like trying to swim against a really strong current. You can flail and struggle all you want. You just end up exhausted and getting nowhere. That frantic striving, that's the obstacle. So why? Why does this happen? Well, think about it. When you're frantically chasing after something, what's the feeling underneath it all? It's usually anxiety, right? A feeling of lack. The deep down belief is there's not enough to go around and I have to fight tooth and nail for my peace. And that feeling, that energetic signal you're broadcasting, is exactly what the universe picks up on and sends right back to you in the form of more scarcity. You know, there's this old tale that illustrates this perfectly. It's about a merchant who just runs himself ragged, searching for wealth. He's completely exhausted, and he finally just collapses. He gives up. And in that exact moment of total surrender, that's when he finds a golden key. It's just the perfect picture, isn't it? Letting go of that desperate search was the one thing that allowed him to finally find what he was looking for. All right, so if all that frantic doing doesn't work, then what does? This is the pivot point. We're moving from understanding the problem to looking at the solution. And it's a really fundamental shift in how we approach, well, everything. Oh, I love this comparison. It just lays it all out so clearly. Look, on one side, you've got the way we're usually taught. You force it, you hoard it, you act from a place of lack. But the backwards law, it's the total opposite. You allow the flow, you circulate energy, and this is the big one. You become abundance. It's not about pushing the world around you. It's about changing your own inner state. And really, this is the absolute core of it all. It's not about your to-do list. It's about who you are being in this very moment. Your vibe, your energetic signature, your state of being, that's what's actually attracting everything into your life. So naturally, the big question is, how in the world do we change that inner state? Okay, so let's get into the how. How do we actually do this? We're going to see how this all builds into a really practical philosophy. This part is all about taking this kind of mind-bending idea and turning it into something we can actually put into practice in our lives. So this whole approach is broken down into three main pillars. You can think of them as the three core practices for making that shift from doing to being, and they are stillness, release, and gratitude. Let's break down each one. All right, pillar number one, stillness. This one is so powerful. There's this great metaphor of an impatient gardener, you know? If you plant a seed and you keep digging it up every day to check if it's growing, guess what? It's never gonna grow. Constant worry, especially about money, is exactly like that. You're just disrupting the whole process. Stillness, that's what creates the quiet, fertile ground where abundance can actually start to sprout. Okay, on to the second pillar, release. There's this amazing story that talks about a vision of a golden waterfall. Just picture it. If you stand underneath it with your hands open, you can receive this endless, beautiful flow. But the moment you try to clutch it, to hoard it, to hold on tight, the flow stops. Dead. It's just such a perfect image for how that fear, that scarcity mindset, literally blocks the good stuff from coming to us. And now for pillar number 3. And honestly, this one might be the master key. It's gratitude. There's this story about a woman named Henrietta, and she finds a door to this incredible treasure, but the door will only open for her when she approaches it feeling genuinely thankful for everything she already has. See, gratitude isn't just some nice, fluffy feeling. It's a powerful, energetic frequency. It literally shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already there. And that's the threshold that allows even more to flow in.
So there you have it. Stillness, release, gratitude. But where does this all lead? What's the end game? Because this isn't just about learning a few new tricks or techniques. The final key here, it's about a complete transformation of who you are.
This is the master level we're talking about. It's when you move beyond doing the practices and you start being the result. The perfect analogy is a lodestone, a naturally magnetic rock. A lodestone doesn't try to be magnetic. It doesn't have a to-do list to attract metal. It just is magnetic. And that's the ultimate goal here, to embody the frequency of abundance so completely that prosperity just comes to you effortlessly.
And that points to the ultimate state of being. I mean, think about it for a second. You don't put breathe on your daily to-do list, do you? Of course not. It just happens. It's a natural, automatic part of being alive. Well, when you fully, truly embody this abundance consciousness, prosperity becomes just like that. It's not something you have to work for anymore. It's just a natural expression of who you've become.
And this quote, man, this just sums it all up perfectly. It comes from a story where a student is begging a master for his techniques, his secrets. And the master's response is just so profound. It's the ultimate graduation, It's that point where you don't even need the techniques anymore because you yourself have become the very thing the techniques were meant to help you find. And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. This one question kind of wraps up this entire idea. Just ask yourself this. What would you choose to do today if you knew, deep down in your bones, that abundance was already your birthright? That it wasn't something out there you had to chase, but something you already are? How would that change your choices? What would you do differently, starting right now? It's a pretty powerful question to just sit with for a while.